Today's breaking news edition of the Dallas Cowboys Report is made possible by Aura. They are offering you a free 14-day trial of their all-in-one online safety tool when you head over to aura.com/chatsports. That link's in the comment section and the description, and we'll tell you more about them later on in today's show. But the news of the day for the 5th time all off season, and I guess, well, technically it's the 6th if we're counting Liam Hajrullahu as an outside free agent still. The Cowboys have made a roster move involving a player not on their team last season. Malik Jefferson is going to sign with the Dallas Cowboys following a workout last week with the organization. Jefferson told Mike Fisher he's making the move to Dallas. It is, of course, worth mentioning that Jefferson is the once highly hyped and touted and high expectation person for the Texas Longhorns, also from Mesquite, Texas, but since being a third-round pick by the Cincinnati Bengals back in the 2018 NFL Draft, he has been the definition of a journeyman, but is a premier athlete given his size 4'5", 240 at the Combine after checking in at 6'2" and change, 236. He is a top-end athlete, has dealt with some injury issues in the past. So we'll go in depth on this signing since, hey, the Cowboys did something. Yay! That's what I do for baby Olivia when she falls down. I go, yay! They did something, right? And it's still maybe not the move everyone wants to have happen in the end. Jefferson, like mentioned, was a third-round pick of the Bengals in 2018. He lasted 1 year with them on the roster, didn't make it to the 2019 season, was with the Browns, then the Chargers for parts of 2019 and 2020, Tennessee in 2020, the Chargers in 2020 for a second stint. That is not a typo. He did bounce around twice with L.A., and then the Colts most recently, more of a practice squad guy. He's only played games for the Bengals, Browns, and Chargers, the majority of his production coming back in 2018. But he's been a journeyman. Here's what Malik Jefferson told Mike Fisher, quote, "I've been in a few situations in the NFL, but this has a chance to be a special one for me. My full focus is on football. I know some of the guys here already, and I think I can contribute." Obviously, we're going to go more in depth on the Malik Jefferson signing here. Before we do that, give me your one-word reaction to Dallas signing Malik Jefferson. Is it good, bad, okay, whatever? Sound off for me in the comments section. This question is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know your one-word reaction to Dallas adding Malik Jefferson. Look, my one-word reaction is depth, and my multi-word reaction was going to be something along the lines of back end of the roster depth, because that's what Malik Jefferson brings. This is not someone who is going to be guaranteed a roster spot. That's not ever the case for someone who has 5 tackles in the last 2 years, 6 in the last 3. That's not how you run your roster. But the Cowboys are in need of linebacker depth. Devontae Bond's on IR. I don't foresee Damone Clark making this roster, or being healthy to make the roster. I think he's going to spend the year on the PUP, NFI, whatever it is for him here. Jefferson does still face a tough path to making the roster. But there are spots. I feel like Luke Gifford's going to make it for special teams purposes. That would be 4 alongside Micah Parsons, leaving 1, maybe 2 spots between guys like Devin Harper, Aaron Hansford, Story Jackson. And then there is a possibility that Malik Jefferson could be that piece. But the Cowboys needed linebacker depth, if only to get through the preseason and training camp. They were thin at the position, even after they added Christian Sam as well, the USFL player. So more options were needed along that linebacking core. More on Jefferson and his path to the roster and what I think the contract will look like. But first, speaking of money, Aura, they offer financial fraud protection. Do not let your information, your identity, be compromised, end up on the dark web. Identity theft, it's not a joke, Jeremy, so stop treating it like a joke. Online and device security for you and the whole family. Keep your identity secure with extensive monitoring of your personal information thanks to Aura. head over to aura.com/chatsports. Links in the comments section and in the description of today's show. Aura.com/chatsports. Free 14-day trial. You can cancel at any time. In most of his career, Jefferson has been a special teamer, and that's reflected in the tackle number, 16 career tackles. Special teams, 63% in 2018, 62% in 2020. The vast majority of his snaps have actually come on special teams. He has the athletic ability to make that impact. If Jefferson makes the team, it's going to be because of special teams. Not because he's going to be a sudden starting linebacker. It's because John Fossil thinks he can be a key part of that rotation. The Cowboys worked out 4 players last week on Friday. Jefferson and T.J. Brunson were the 2 linebackers. They worked out some punt returners. Common theme there, special teams. Now, there are no contract details at this point. In fact, I believe that Fish is the only one who's actually reported this so far, so W for Fish there. But I can guess what the contract details are going to be. We can all guess. 1-year deal, vet minimum, little to maybe nothing guaranteed because it is July. Jefferson got cut back in May. You're just signing with a team that would pick you up at that point. We mentioned that it's iffy as to whether or not Jefferson will make the roster, much like Christian Sam, the USFL linebacker, Liram Hajrullahu, and even Ryan Nall, and even to a certain extent, Dante Fowler. All the guys the Cowboys signed this year are not necessarily a clear-cut roster. I think James Washington's pretty close. So do you think Jefferson will make the roster? Y for yes, N for no. Make those predictions for me right now in the comment section. Jefferson also had this to say to Mike Fisher. Wherever they want me to fit in, that's what I'll try to do. The part about playing for my hometown team is great, but my single focus is going to be all about football. I appreciate Dallas giving me this chance, and I'm going to do my best to take advantage of it. Which is exactly what you want Jefferson to say, right? He's all about football, trying to make the roster. He knows he has a tricky path to making the 53, even the practice squad to a certain extent. But if you can flash in training camp in the preseason, there are spots available at the linebacker room. Now, the Cowboys Report Live edition will still be going on later today, 3 p.m. Central Time. Will be live. Me, producer Jeremy. The workouts were going to be a big part of the show. We'll adjust it a little bit here as well. And you might have noticed, by the way, that the video yesterday came out a little bit later in terms of when it normally goes out. It was more like at 4:30. That was due in very large part to you got when this was going to potentially happen, I did. And they didn't make the move until this morning. So I was waiting and waiting. Ended up not happening at all on that standpoint yesterday. But we'll be live again tomorrow. Make sure you guys are subscribed. YouTube.com/CowboysTV. I do think, by the way, another roster move is needed in terms of making room for Jefferson on the active roster. I believe the Cowboys are out of roster spots in June, July, and August. The numbers get a little bit wonky and tricky to follow exactly with weird. This guy counts, this guy doesn't. Isaac Alarcon doesn't count, so they're at like 91 right now, so they should be maxed out there. So with that in mind, who gets cut to make room for Malik Jefferson once the signing is made official? Could still take a few days for it to be official. That's not uncommon at this stage in the NFL. It's not an overnight thing because camp's still weeks away. There's no rush to take care of it because can't do anything at this point. So drop a name for me. Who do you think gets cut to make room for Malik Jefferson? I do want to welcome Malik to Dallas, well, I should say back to Dallas since he's from Malik. And by the way, Malik, no hard feelings that you didn't respond to my DM Tuesday night asking if you were going to come to the Cowboys when we first got wind it could go down. It's all good. Welcome to Dallas. Hope you're able to make an impact for this team in 2022. And hey, if you want to even it out, you, Malik, or anyone watching here on the Cowboys Report can hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are open at whatgoingdowny, so feel free to slide on in.